Catherine.
Oh, wonderful. Welcome. And I appreciate you all from other countries. And I know the times might be very strange and middle of the night for some of you. So I especially appreciate your getting in.
Jacques de
Jaguar.
Montréal, Québec, Montreal, Québec.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Hi, Waxela. Anka from Germany.
Hello, Anka. All right.
Allie's here. Can you hear me?
Hi, Allie.
I can't get the video to show. I don't know why. The video's not showing, but
Your video?
can you see me?
Ollie's video.
No, we can't see you.
I don't know why it's not doing it. Maybe I'll step out and then come back in again.
Okay.
Thank you. Good to be here with everyone.
Okay, welcome you guys. I'm so happy to have all of you here and see your faces. And just for those of you who are new to my world and maybe just found me on the summit, my name is Waxela Sananda. You probably know that if you found your way in here. And so for this call today, I basically have about 4 elements. And first of all, I'll just kind of introduce myself, let you know who I am and what I'm up to. And then I'll go into a little bit of just a talk about what's going on in the world right now. I tend to get these downloads as I'm preparing in the morning when I have one of these. So I don't script this at all. I just feel the energy. Usually it comes to me while I'm getting ready, doing my hair, putting on makeup, and then I share with you because every group is different. Every group has its own energy. And I really wanted this to be unique to you. And I really want this to resonate with this group who's here, who showed up, and also the people who will be listening. I realize not everybody could show up at this time. And then I will go into a meditation and activation. It won't be a long one. It'll probably be 15, 20 minutes. I never really know. I'm just guessing, but that tends to be about the amount of time. And that will be something where you'll need to silence if you have a phone and just make sure that you're comfortable and you're not in a place where you'll be disturbed. So you can really sink in, open up, and receive the frequencies that are coming to you. And that's a point where I just open up and allow myself to be a channel of divine presence, and I let that stream to you in whatever way you're willing or open to receive in that moment. And then finally, I'm going to leave time for a question and answer period. So if you have any questions come up along the way, just hold those questions until the very end. And then at the end, I will open up, and don't be shy. You can ask me anything, anything about, the content or whatever else came up for you. And I love to hear you share back. I love your questions. I love answering spontaneous questions. So again, please don't be shy, just be willing, and I'll let you know when that point is. So you might want to even have a pad of paper or a journal next to you if you're someone who gets questions, and then in case you forget, you'll have that available at the end. So I'm going to do a little more admitting, and then I feel like by 10 after, whoever made it, and whoever didn't. And I am going to send out the replay of this because I know a lot of people would have loved to have been here, but they just, the time wasn't compatible. So I think I'm about there. I want everyone to be a part of it and to be able to get in, but I really have to give this up. Because if I'm staring at the admit button, then I'm not present for you. So here's how I want to start. I just kind of want to start with, I know a number of you have been with me for a long time, and you've been, answering my emails and reading them. And some of you I know by name, some of you have done my classes and my trainings. Others of you are brand new, and maybe you just came in from the summit. I just finished the Alchemy of Ascension season 2. It was an amazing, amazing lineup of speakers. I just absolutely loved the interaction that we had. It was just this beautiful expression of the divine coming through so many different people in so many different ways. And I hope that you got in on that. If you didn't, I will have the VIP pass available on my website so that you can get the replays, although most people have shut down their offers and free gifts at this point. So I hope that you took advantage of some of those because, wow, it was just an amazing lineup. And I will be doing summits in the future. My intention is to do at least one per year. This year I did 2 because I was launching them, and it's just such a blessing and so much fun. But it's also a lot of work. I basically have to stop everything else for 3 months and do that. So it gets to be a lot of my energy that I'm devoting to that. So just for starters, I'm hoping you all can hear me just fine. Will you give me a thumbs up or a yes if you can hear me on the Zoom, just so I know? You can either just write yes in the little chat box or just so I know. Okay, good. Getting lots of yeses. That's great. Lots and lots. Thank you so much. I love the feedback. Want to make sure that you can hear me just fine. And so, yes, as I go into this morning's talk, I'd love for just to share a tiny bit with you about what I do as a spiritual teacher. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. I do something called Ascension Training. I take people through a 12-week program, and that is a way to give you the tools that you need on your journey to really, we start out by breaking through blocks, breaking through those old programs and past limiting beliefs and everything that's kept you stuck or kept you from moving forward in your process. And we go through, clear those blocks, and then move into expanding our container of divine presence, expanding our ability to hold the frequencies that we want to experience on this planet. So we really become frequency holders of that which we desire. You get activated into divine light technologies. These are tools that you can use for ascension on your path in whatever way you desire. And this is truly my life's work. I've been doing this work for 30 years. I started very young. I started being visited when I was very, very young, but I stopped myself from really talking about it much until I was in my teens. And I went for a foreign exchange student year in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. And during that time, I went to the Mayan ruins. And if anyone's ever been to pyramids or sacred places that are very ancient, you might have experienced feeling something very special there. And I went to the pyramids every chance I got because every time I went, I was experiencing an activation of codes that I wasn't even aware of. You know, at the time, I was just a teenager when this happened, but I started to open up and expand. My intuition and my spiritual gifts started coming back to me. They had always been there, they had been latent, but I found that I started getting activated in ways, new ways that I previously was completely unfamiliar with. And so that led me down a path to finding Shirley MacLaine out on a limb. I watched, she had a movie. If you haven't seen it, it was wonderful. And I think it came out, it must have been the early 90s because that's when this happened for me. And it was back before they had, like you couldn't even record it. I had to be there present, and it was a mini series on 2 nights. So I had to make sure I was in front of the TV that second night because it was so amazing. But the first night, what happened was, as I was watching it, my whole body just started to shake. And I experienced something in my body that I was, I was being activated, but I didn't know that at the time. And I just knew it was important. And I knew that the information that was there was important for me. And then that set me on a journey of reading Edgar Cayce and metaphysics and parapsychology. And the more that I focused on it, the more my energy expanded, the more my awareness expanded, the more my consciousness expanded. And I got tapped into things that I was previously unaware of. I started interacting with my guides and the angelic realm and started downloading. And, it was an amazing time of opening and activation. And so from there, I moved to Dallas, Texas. And long story short, I was found by a shaman, and I was taken to Kauai, Hawaii, where I trained for about 3 years. And I learned shamanism. I learned how to open portals. I learned how to read past lives. I learned how to do all these amazing things and communicate with the land and the animals and the fauna. And I realized everything is alive. It's all consciousness. The consciousness that's in me is in every other human. It's in the plants. It's in the animals. It's in the trees and the planet itself and the stars and the galaxies and space. And there is no empty space. Space is conscious. It's all consciousness. Our cells are conscious. So from the highest level to the largest level to the tiniest level, everything is awareness. Everything is conscious. And when I understood that and began interacting with life like that, life changed for me, and kept changing. And so what I find happens is in the ascension process, for me, ascension is not going out. It's actually, I believe that the divine presence starts within the heart. The divine presence is in everyone. It's equally in you as it is in me, as it is in everybody else. And bringing our focus and awareness to that divine presence is what creates our reality. And on the ascension path, it's really inscension, because we're going into that divine presence through the heart, and we're expanding and we're opening up, and we are growing our ability to hold frequencies. And as you grow in your ability to hold frequencies, you'll find it's almost like you're going into a parallel dimension or a parallel reality. You're stepping up in your energy, and you'll know when your frequency changes and you expand or ascend to a new level, because guess what happens? All the blocks and the negativity and the traumas and the upsets and everything that has had you not be able to be at that point, that level before, is going to surface. And the reason it's surfacing is so that you can clear it, so that you can get beyond that, so that you can release it once and all for your being and move into this expanded space and state of awareness, hold a higher frequency. And when you do that, you become magnetically attractive to that frequency, and the people around you, the orbits, the people you orbit, will change. Possibly the place where you live, or where you're visiting, or the places you find yourself will change based on that frequency change. And what happens a lot of times is that people have this frequency upgrade, their junk comes up, they get stuck in it. We do that, and no judgment in this. It's just part of the human condition. When you get stuck in it, it limits your ability to have that ascension experience. It limits your ability to expand. So the idea here is to become a powerful witness of what you're projecting, of what the world is showing you, and what's coming up from you, and what you're experiencing, so that you can release it. And so this is why in Ascension Training, it's so important. The foundational tools are to be able to release this junk that comes up and let it go, surrender it, and move up in frequency. And we get very powerful at noticing, witnessing, and even celebrating our triggers and our upsets, because once we catch them, we can reprogram them into something, a positive belief. We let go of that old belief, clear it, and reprogram to a positive belief. And we can do this for anything. And you don't just do it once, it's a lifelong process. It's infinite. Your ability to ascend is infinite. I call it the infinite layers of the onion, or the infinite flowering of the lotus, because it's never done. As long as you're here, you have another level you can move up to. So when somebody asks me, when is the ascension happening, or when is the new earth happening, or when are we going to 5D? My answer is always now. It's always happening now. We are in the present moment, and you can start right now, wherever you are, with whatever's going on in your world, focusing on what it is that's blocking you and releasing it. And our human normal thing that we do is we don't want to look at it. We don't want to work with it. We want to avoid it, like get away from it, like stuff it, right? But it's the opposite. What we need to do is let it out, let it go, release it in a positive way, not in a harmful way to anybody else. Just acknowledge that you're having something come up and release it. And this gives you the ability to move that energy so that you're open to hold a higher frequency. I'm going to let a few more people in here. So this is a life's work, not something you're going to do for 12 weeks and then be done for the rest of your life. This stays with you for life. And whether you take my Ascension training or not is not the point. It's that you know that the stuff that comes up every time you feel like, oh, wow, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling great about my life. And then suddenly everything gets in the way. It's just those old programs coming up to be cleared. So celebrate that. And move forward and allow yourself to release, enjoy, let it go, do what you need to do. And then you get to really bask in those new frequencies that you're learning to hold. So that is just a little bit about me and the work that I'm so passionate about. It's 30 years of personal practice that led me to this, and I'm just grateful that I get to share it with all of you. I also have a book that I wrote. It's called The Love You Crave, A Course in Ascension, Alchemy, and Connection to the Divine. It's on ebook on Amazon right now. I am working on getting it in print. I'm having some formatting issues, but very soon that is going to be out there. I know I've been promising that for a long time, and it just has not been at the top of my priority list. But this year, by the end of the year, I'm just going to commit to that right now. You're all my witnesses. I have 133 witnesses, I think. All right, I'm doing it. Okay, you guys. I really, really want, like, the essence of today is about realizing that you are projecting your reality from the inside of you out. In every moment, whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're witnessing in your life, seemingly happening outside of yourself, is actually coming from within you. Now, I realize for a lot of people, you don't want to hear that because it's easy to own all of the good stuff, right? It's easy to own, like, yeah, I'm creating great things and wonderful relationships and prosperity and whatever else, fill in the blank. It's harder to say, but there's illness and darkness and negativity and racism and, all kinds of ugly things, pollution happening in the world. That's, I don't want that. How am I creating that? And so look at it this way. We are all at the highest level, one mind. The divine is incarnate in all of us, having all of these different experiences through all of these different human expressions, right? And at the highest level, there is one mind, and our individual mind reflects that one mind that connects us all, because we are all part of that and we are all that. So think about your own mind for a moment. I would challenge anyone that would say, my mind is 100% positive all the time. Anybody ever have a negative thought? You can just put your hand up or write yes in the chat box. Do you ever have a negative thought? Do you ever get worried? Do you ever have lack thoughts of, oh my gosh, this bill came up, how am I going to pay for that? Do you ever get concerned about a child or a partner or someone you love or the world or politics or COVID or anything else? Yes, lots of yeses. I would be willing to bet we would be challenged to find a human on this planet that doesn't get upset, that doesn't get worried, that doesn't have a negative thought. So if you look at it like that, in total non-judgment, our minds contain all of it from the most beautiful, loving, brightest, joyful, grateful thoughts to the lowest lows. And it's all in there. And it's the important part is, what are you focusing on? So yes, you're going to experience a spectrum throughout your life. That's natural. And it's always about non-judgment. Don't judge it, just notice it. Be a witness of your consciousness. That's the best thing you can do. When something negative comes up for you, when you start to look at what's wrong with the world, be a witness of your consciousness. How are you being about it? Are you focusing your attention on it? Are you complaining? Are you getting upset? Are you upset with the people and the relationships in your life? Are you taking ownership for that upset, for that complaining, for that negativity? Because if you're focusing on the negativity and you're ignoring all of the grateful, wonderful things that are going on in the world, what are you going to get more of? You're going to get more of what you focus on. You're always going to get more of what you're focused on and what your primary thoughts are. So this is why it's so important to become diligently aware of the thoughts that you're practicing and rehearsing in your mind. And yes, there are negative things going on out there. I'm 100% aware, but I do not spend my energy and focus on the negativity. What I will do when I see an issue that my heart is really moved by, such as many of you know, my greatest charity is the oceans, the ocean life. I've had a lot of life memories of being from a water planet, Sirius B, and I absolutely adore the water and the oceans, and I want to preserve them. The oceans give all of us life. If we don't have oceans and we don't have healthy oceans, we don't have healthy humans or a healthy planet. So for me, I don't focus on the negativity of that. I don't focus on the darkness. I focus on, how can I be a contribution and how can I improve that? And it starts from the smallest thing at home. I recycle. I try not to use plastic containers. The ocean's full of plastic. I think we all know that, right? So I try not to use plastic containers that are single use. I use filtered water. That I don't buy plastic water bottles. There's no need to do that. I do things to contribute to the world that I desire to create. I contribute to the ocean cleanup. There are lots of projects going on around that. So this is just an example. Whatever you're passionate about and whatever upsets you, contribute to the world you want to see, rather than getting all like caught up in the negativity. I could focus on the plastic and the pollution and the ugliness of that, but I'm instead focusing on, well, I'm going to contribute to the cleanup. I'm going to contribute to what I love. I'm going to talk about what I love, the ocean life, the dolphins. When I go walk the beach or go out in a boat and dolphins are swimming beside me, there's no greater joy than that. It's just so wonderful to experience, and they are so full of joy. And have you ever heard a whale toning? It's just magical, and the vibration and the frequency goes through your whole body. And I want to live in a world where our oceans are healthy, where our planet is healthy, where the skies are clear and clean. And so I can contribute to that issue by bringing my awareness to the positivity of what I desire to see in the world, And I'm not ignoring that there's a problem. I'm actually contributing to the solution in whatever way I can. Now, sometimes the only way that you're able to contribute to a solution is to send positive energy there, to think positive thoughts. And this is not a small thing. If you use your imagination to create and remember the world that you desire to live in, that is a wonderful contribution, because you're actually creating a pathway and you're adding energy to that world. And if you do that enough, and if you're strong enough in it, the thing that you are disliking will eventually go away. It will go away. So this is conscious life creation, something I'm very passionate about, something I practice in my own life. It is not spiritual bypassing or denying that there exists negativity. It's what you choose to focus on is what gives you your life experience and your world experience. And so that for me, if you can just get like a little bit of that piece or a lot of that piece, I would love to hear, and you can message me after this, but I'd love to hear, what are you experiencing? What are you experiencing around that? What are you practicing? And even what are your challenges as well? Here's the thing, our thoughts are our prayers. What we think is what we experience, and all prayers are answered. All prayers are answered. So what that means is the thoughts that you send out moment by moment, that's your communication with the divine mind, with oneness. You're basically projecting with your thoughts in every moment. This is what I choose to focus on. This is what I'm thinking. Your thoughts are rippling out into the universe, and they are not unmet. They're coming back as your experience of life. So isn't it important then to focus on the life you desire to experience, the gratitude that you feel for this life, for the people in your life, for the plant life and animal life, for the planet herself, for everything you're grateful for? To constantly be putting that out means you're going to receive more of that back over and over. So this is your prayer. And as a child, I was raised Lutheran. I was raised in the Christian church. And I got to a point in my confirmation, which is a training you go through in Lutheran church, where I had a lot of questions. And I think the pastor might have been getting a little tired of my questions, but he was wonderful. He was a good trooper. But he gave me this verse, and it's one that I have always loved. It's Matthew 7:7, and it's knock and the door shall open unto you. Seek and ye shall find. It starts out, ask and it shall be given. Ask and it shall be given unto you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be open unto you. And I took that verse and I put it on my altar with my Buddha and my Hindu gods and my crystals and my incense. And I looked at that every day and I'm like, I'm knocking, I'm seeking, and I'm finding. And I did. I found what I was looking for. And the beauty of that is now I get to share what I found. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that upbringing. It's not, I'm not exactly, of that religion anymore, but certainly there are elements of it that shaped who I am and the way that I think. And I'm grateful that I had that guidance to every piece of my path led me to where I am now. And I'm grateful for all of it. So finding that gratitude for your history, for your life experience, even those things you went through that were very difficult, sometimes it's the dark night of the soul. That's what it takes for you to have that expansion, for you to get to that point where you say, you know what, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter anymore what's going on out here. I'm going to deal with this and I'm going to get better. And when you get conviction and committed to that, your whole world can change. So that is the bulk of what I want to share with you, I think. Looking at my notes that I jotted down. Part of that truly is asking for what you want. We are in a conscious matrix, conscious universe. And so as we, you've heard of your wishes fulfilled and ask and it shall be given. What we're putting out, what we're asking for with our intention, with our awareness, with our consciousness, we will receive. So I was just with some friends over a few days ago, and one of them said to me, Waxela, when you said, and he has experiences with guides and intuition and all of this. He said, when you told me a few years ago, all I have to do is ask my guides for what I want to experience, ask for, the spiritual understanding, upgrade knowledge, connection to my galactic family, whatever that is. It's like, when you told me that, it had never occurred to me before that I have to ask, because we have free will, and those galactic guides and our angelic helpers, they don't want to interrupt our free will. You get to ask, but when you ask, they're going to line up to share information with you, to help you move through whatever's troubling you, whatever's blocking you, to help you expand and ascend. There is a host, a massive, massive host of beings of higher dimensional frequencies that want and desire our ascension, the Earth's ascension, our upgrade into 5D and higher experience of life. They are lining up to help us. And we get to ask, because they do not interfere. And if one comes to you and says, you have to do this and you have to do it this way, and it starts giving you orders and telling you what to do, probably don't work with that one. Might not be of the highest light. Use discernment, but ask and allow yourself to work with those who are of the highest light, and they will give you amazing, amazing upgrades. So, and they are all you at the highest level. We're all the same mind. So like I am you, at the highest level, you put me here to share this information with you so that you could experience some sort of upgrade that you were asking for. Right? And it's the same with our guides. And I put you here so that I could share this information with you. So this is it's a co-creative, collaborative process, but at the highest level, we're all the same one choosing this experience, and we get to choose it in every moment. So I do very much believe in having mentors. I have mentors. I think mentors and people that you want to emulate something from their life or their expression or their way of being. It could be a family member or a parent. It could be a spiritual teacher. It could be anybody that you find, in the world that has traits that you admire. Start to consider, what are those traits, and how might I emulate that? How might I express those types of traits? And as you focus on them more and more, they become who you are as well. And in that way, we're upgrading the entire reality. As we work on ourselves, we are upgrading everybody who also wants to experience that. So I'm going to stop there. That is my my lecture, my sharing from my downloads this morning of what could serve you in the highest way. And now I would like to move into our meditation. And this is the meditation activation. And so the best way to prepare yourself for this is, number one, if you have a phone, make sure it's silenced or turned off. I'm going to do the same, even though I'm quite sure I did that already. Sometimes funny things happen and I didn't get it done. So make sure you're not going to be in like a high traffic area. If you can settle in and really take this moment, hopefully you can find a quiet space. You might want to have a journal or water nearby, just so if ideas or thoughts come to mind that you want to remember, you can jot them down, or just simply sink in and be comfortable and allow yourself to receive whatever it is that's for your highest good in this experience today. So with that, go ahead and begin by closing your eyes and bring your awareness to your breath. Breathing deeply into the belly, allowing the belly to expand on the inhale and contract on the exhale, allowing yourself to relax with every breath On the inhale, breathing in relaxation. And on the exhale, releasing any tension that you're still holding in your body, relaxing the shoulders and neck, relaxing the back and the hips, settling into the body, and just getting very centered and focused with your energy and your presence. And now bring your awareness to your heart center and the light within your heart. The light in your heart is the divine presence, the I am presence. When you say, I am, you are calling forward that presence from within you. And focus on this light, the light within your heart, and allow it to expand out around your chest. And just feel it glowing and growing out around your body, creating a beautiful bubble of light that is holding and protecting you, and just keeping this beautiful space of light for you to feel very comfortable to travel within. And now bring your awareness to a source of light 200 feet above your head. This is a source of divine light energy. It is the central sun and the heart of the divine masculine energy. And as you're tuning your awareness into the source energy of the central sun, allow that energy now to move down through the ethers into the top of your head, moving and spreading into your body, into every cell as it travels down your spine, through your torso to the base of the spine, and all the way to the bottoms of the feet. And then back up, spreading into every cell, bringing an infusion of divine light, activating the awareness within your cells, within your blood, within your DNA, bringing this divine light infusion and upgrade, breathing it into every cell. And then allowing that light to move in to your heart center, joining with the light within you and resting there for a moment. And now tune your awareness into the center of the earth. This is the heart of the center of the earth, the heart of the divine feminine. And feel that beautiful divine feminine energy in the heart of the mother, beating and glowing, and now growing up through the layers of the earth on roots, carrying this energy as liquid crystal plasma as it moves into the bottom of your feet and the base of your spine, moving up your body, up the spine to the top of the head, and then spreading out into every cell of your body, activating the DNA with the divine feminine light, balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Within you, you are the holy child of light. The marriage of divine feminine and divine masculine in your heart now coming together to create the expression of the divine child I am. And feel this divine presence growing within your heart and expanding out around your body. Just feeling this upgrade, allowing it to upgrade you to whatever level or frequency is perfect for you in this moment. And now tune your awareness back into the heart center, your heart center, the center of your chest, and slightly above in the high heart. And now notice that there is a portal of light. This is a stargate that leads into the very center of the divine light in your heart. And it's time now to move your consciousness through this stargate, and you'll find that you're moving into the infinitely faceted diamond light of the heart. This is the birthright of every human to activate the divine light of the diamond light of the heart, moving through this stargate now as you're traveling through. You might be going at light speed, finding yourself approaching a facet of this diamond light, entering into the diamond light, and now stepping out of that portal and finding yourself encompassed in beautiful, glistening rainbow colors. There may be more colors than you've ever experienced before, and feel the frequency here. This is a frequency of all colors on the spectrum, seen and unseen, the presence of all of this divine light. It might be like glittering, sparkling. You might feel it alive, interacting with you. And now just take a deep breath into the space, allowing your awareness and your consciousness to open to receive this beautiful upgraded spectrum of light. It is a light activation and upgrade from within your heart, traveling around your entire body, entering into your DNA structure and offering you the upgrade that is perfect for you at this time. And now go ahead and ask with your intention to be upgraded, to allow this activation within you. Ask with your intention and open to receiving. And now, if there is something that you desire to ask for, we are all holding space for you to have this experience. It might be a heightened level of intuition. It might be clearing of a block that you've been experiencing. It might be greater physical wellness. Whatever it is, you can ask for anything that you desire. Simply open, ask, and then receive. Open to receive, and be willing to surrender whatever is in the way. And at this point, if something comes to mind that's unpleasant for you, know that it is simply an old program, an old thought form, or some old trigger, old trauma that's just ready to go. And you don't have to spend time with it. You can allow yourself to release it and blast out any lingering darkness, negativity, or trauma that's blocking your path. And let's just send a massive divine fusion of light to clear all blocks, clearing all lack, clearing the lack matrix from the cellular level out. Breathing into that clearing, clearing all past trauma from this life and all others, past, present, and future. Clearing all blocks to divine clear intuition, claircognizance, clearing all blocks to knowing your soul's purpose, clearing all blocks to receiving energy, receiving divine frequencies, receiving gifts of your soul's wealth, receiving prosperity. Open now to receiving the gifts that are your soul's wealth, your soul's inheritance, your divine birthright as a child of the divine, as an expression of the divine. Here and now, the world is infinitely abundant with gifts for you, and open to receive at whatever level is perfect for you in this moment and at this time. Breathing in to the heart center again. And now allow yourself to align, calibrate, recalibrate to hold this higher frequency. You have received an upgrade, an activation, and an infusion of divine light. And it is your choice at what level you receive this. So simply breathe into your heart space and allow that light to travel down your spine, allowing this upgrade, this infusion, and this activation to anchor in the base of your spine, anchoring it into the physical body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, the galactic body, the planetary body, and at the highest level, the body of unity consciousness. Very good. Anchoring this infusion, and now send. It's a root. I'm seeing a root that you send out from the base of the spine into the center of the earth, into the crystalline pyramid. This will anchor this upgrade for you across all time, dimension, space, and reality, anchoring you in this new light and allowing you to upgrade to higher and higher frequencies, higher and higher holding of light as you are ready. This upgrade is stored for you in infinite capacity in this crystalline pyramid attached to the crystalline grid within the earth, and you can draw on it as you are ready to receive more light, more infusion, more awareness and consciousness, and to activate to a new level. And now anchor this light into the crown of the head and connect up to the divine light 200 feet above your head. Connect up to the central sun, allowing the central sun to bring an infusion into your soul star chakra, into the crown and down the spine, and you become a golden infinity of light traveling through you and up to the central sun and down to the heart, the center of the earth. The infinity crosses in your heart center, and you are infinitely capable of expansion on this golden figure 8. Breathe again into that upgrade and alignment, feeling yourself calibrate and align to possibly a new timeline here, a new version of yourself, an upgraded version, an upgraded expression of your truth, your awareness, allowing yourself to receive balance and center here. And now bring your awareness back to your heart center and feel your awareness there, bringing gratitude into the heart center, feeling gratitude for this journey you have taken, gratitude for this infusion of light, gratitude for the life that you have been given, and just feel whatever it is you're feeling in this moment, and feeling an expansion of heart energy. It's time now to move back into the diamond portal, the infinitely faceted diamond light of the heart. And again, it's time to move out, moving your awareness out of that stargate where you first entered, coming up and out of the heart center and bringing your awareness now back to your full body, your full physical body, feeling the body, and bring your hands either to prayer position or simply lie them over your heart center, feeling your energy as you're bringing your awareness back to the physical body, and start to wiggle the toes and the feet and start to move the legs and the hips, the shoulders and your neck. And just notice how you're feeling. Notice maybe your energy feels different. Maybe you feel more vibrant, more alive, more aware, and more connected. And now in this space, just again, move into your heart center or just notice your heart center and feel the connection to every other person in this call right now, and every other person who will be listening at a future date. Feel our hearts connected and feel that communion. As one upgrades, we all upgrade. This is the community heart where we all contribute and upgrade from tuning in to each other. And we are infused in this heart, in this community heart, with the love of the divine. And so just feel the giving and receiving that is ever present in the community heart. And breathe into that, bringing your awareness now fully back to your present body, your here and now. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And if you have water nearby, this might be a great time to have a drink of water as you're coming back. And you might feel a little tingly, you might feel a little, etheric. And just allow yourself to breathe and center and continue to integrate all of that light and all of that energy. And as you're doing that, I see I've got a lot of messages. Some of them are private. I'm not going to read the private ones. There's some really beautiful messages here. From Chelsea, I get thank you, really appreciating the presentation. Came in from a nature walk and reflecting on the amazing tribe of spiritual people in my circle. Beautiful, Chelsea. A way of transmuting the negative thoughts is the use of the violet fire. Yes, William, the violet fire. Shout out to all of them, the multidimensional beings. Yes, indeed, that was anonymous. I've got lots of private messages as well. All right, I was meant to be here. One says, yes. So, okay, I'd love to, as you're coming back, I would love to just open it up now. If you'd like to raise your hand, I think I can see, I don't know if you all have that option to raise your hand and then I could unmute you, or you can just unmute yourself. I can't see everybody. So if you could just unmute yourself if you want to say something, that's fine too. And we'll try and just be, just go one at a time. I hear somebody unmuted. Did you want to say something? Is it Renee?
Yes, thank you very much. I so needed this today and so grateful to be with everyone from all around the world.
Wonderful. Where are you from, Renee?
I'm near Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, welcome. I'm so glad you made it today, and I really appreciate your energy. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. We have Diane. Sorry, we have Diane unmuted. Did you want to speak? Diane, you're next.
Divine blessings. Can you hear me?
I can. Hello.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I'm from the heart of England in
Ah,
Telford.
welcome. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
So it's my first time. I have connected with a number of divine beings, and I do see my spaceships over my home regularly.
Yes, you're connected with your galactic family.
Oh yes, very
Yeah.
divinely.
Beautiful. Thank you. Go ahead. Well, thank you for sharing that. Did you have anything else?
Yes. Do you know about the Pleiadian codes? Command 771.
I'm not aware of that. I'm aware of the Pleiadians, but not familiar with that number.
Okay. The Pleiadians are given special commands to all of you, again, I'm one of the ambassadors here on Mother Earth. I've been here for some time. But
Thank you.
I have very, very deep connections on and off the world. If you go to Paul Hellyer, Right Honourable Paul Hellyer, I know Paul. We connect very regularly about the ascension and liberation of Mother Earth. So this is how deep I run, and also very much deeper too. So yeah, command 771, say that 3 times in the mind, and again that will initiate Pleiadian healing codes. There's also a command PB Stardust, say that 3 times in your mind. So that's PB Stardust, say that 3 times. And there's another one, command RCV Stardust, which again will heal the virus. Yeah, that thing. So, which is turned into a common cold now. So, you know, don't play into the fear, and God bless Trump.
Diane, could you put this in the chat so we know how to spell it?
I can do, yes. It's very easy to remember, but I shall do that for you, and I shall do that for the entire group because it's free. It's been given by the Galactics, our Pleiadian fleet. I'm also connected to the Syrian High Command, to the Arcturian High Command, and to the Pleiadian High Command. As I say, I've got a very deep connection. So, but I'm here to help you.
Thank you. Thank you for adding that to the chat so everyone will be able to see it there. I really appreciate that. Okay, it looks like we have a lot of people unmuted. Actually, no, those are people waiting to get in. Sorry, I'll admit them. Someone else? I do hear someone else. And oh, Mark. Mark, you're next if you'd like to speak. It says Mark's iPhone, so I don't have a last name. No, Mark? Okay, the next in line is Patty B, NC USA.
North Carolina. Yes, I had a question about the violet fire. There's one degree that I particularly like because it seems to cover all. Have you heard of the heart, hand, and head degree?
Heart, hand, and head decree? Is that what you said?
Degree of the violet fire. Uh-huh.
Oh, no, I work with a little bit different spectrum, but feel free to share.
Well, it covers everything. I think you could look it up on Heart Center is the one where I got all that information from originally, the Heart Center. But it covers everything, even all the way through to transubstantiation, ascension, and resurrection, all the way through. It sort of takes you through everything you need to say.
Beautiful.
Is Sananda a name of Jesus in the present?
Oh, wow. Wasn't expecting that question. Sananda is, it's, well, multidimensional.
I had heard of it, and that's what I thought that maybe that it goes by now.
That's a little bit of a mundane version. I don't mean that in a judgmental way. Sananda at the highest level is a frequency. Sananda is, so there's an ascended master known as Sananda who I work with. And then Jesus is of that lineage or of that frequency. If that's probably the best.
That probably answers the question. He's of that frequency. Yes. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Jesus, many are, you know, and it's, you know, yeah.
This is all new to me, but it's very exciting.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for being here. Okay. So next we have Renee. Is this a different Renee? Renee Koss, K-O-S? You there?
Yeah, that was me. I already spoke with you.
Oh, you already spoke. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to mute you because I'm going by who's unmuted themselves. I'm taking that as raising your hand. Astrid, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, you mentioned earlier on when you were talking about yourself that you're from a serious water planet.
I have memories.
I've never heard of that being called a water planet. It's fascinating because I love the water too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
something I have in there.
You've been there? Is that what you said?
No, I'm going to have to do some more research.
Yeah,
But
Sirius B.
can you tell me a bit more about that?
Absolutely, I'd love to. Sirius B. Somebody has background noise, so I'd actually love it if I think I'll just mute. Okay, yeah. If you can mute yourself if you have background noise, that'd be great. Sirius B is a water planet. There's a Sirius A, which is the brightest star of Sirius. Sirius B is much smaller. It has, I mean, for me, my memories of many, many memories of being a like a mermaid, but a mer person there. And being a whale, being a dolphin, being light codes in the water for many, 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 I don't know, eons of time. I was light codes in the water. I called myself a light courier, and that I could travel into any being, any place, and deliver the coded information from the light. I didn't actually have form, but if I were to draw myself, it would kind of look like I don't know, kind of like a wavy, like an eel almost, but made of light. And I could change form, of course, because I was light. So that for me, I believe is, you know, here's the thing. Maybe there is a Sirius B that is not a water world, that's a physical world. Maybe there's an Earth that's a water world, but there are different dimensions of reality, and the dimensions are layered, and we will experience the dimension that we're most aligned with. And so this is why we can step into a different dimension of reality without leaving this place. And this is why in the ascension process, yes, 5D and above exists right here, right now on planet Earth, but it's us that we get to move our energy up so that we can step into that experience right here and now. And yes, there is more light coming into the planet to help us do that right now. So back to Sirius B, I see it, my experience was very purple, like a purple sky, purple kind of atmosphere. The violet flame existed there. The buildings underwater were made kind of a crystalline structure that they're see-through with almost like a golden light moving through them, and they were conscious. The buildings are all conscious. So if you want to know something or interact with a space or a building, you could simply, and it's a liquid world, right? It's water world. So there was a lot of experience of being able to sort of morph form and interact with the entire reality was conscious, was living. And I would say the same is here too, but we have a much denser experience of life here. So it doesn't feel as much like everything's alive. But I would challenge that and say everything actually is. It's all consciousness. It's just the way that we experience it is quite dense here. Does that help? Is that helpful?
Yes, absolutely. It just sort of makes a lot of sense, because I've always felt very great being surrounded by large bodies of water.
Yeah.
Very important in my life. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
If I have to live, if I have to live anywhere else in the center of a continent or country, I think I'd die. But water, yes, and that's helps me a lot, understanding that.
Beautiful. Yeah, I feel the same. I've always got to be around water. I love being surrounded by water. Yeah.
Thank you.
You might be from a water world. You've probably been a mer.
Could be.
All right. Let's see. Next, I'm going to go ahead and mute you, Astrid. Next, we have Teresa de Simone. Am I saying that right?
How are you?
Hi. Welcome.
I thank you so much for the meditation. It was absolutely beautiful, and I felt a lot of.
You have some background noise. I heard thank you for the meditation. You're welcome.
Oh, I'm actually wearing a headset, so I hope my microphone is okay. The sound is not. Is it okay now?
I can hear you, but just speak up as much as possible. Go ahead.
To say thank you for the meditation. It was really beautiful, and I have felt a lot of energy coming through my hands and my heart. So it was really amazing. Thank you so much. I wanted to ask you. You mentioned that we might experience a different timeline, and I'm very interested in the topic of timelines. But the only thing is, I always find myself struggling to figure out, like, how do you know if the timeline changed, since you would have to have two different universes in order to be able to compare or to see any difference. You know what I mean?
Well, I would say, if your timeline has changed, if your experience of the world has changed. So it doesn't mean that you've left necessarily. There are a lot of different ways that you can experience this. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've left one and gone to the other. Oh, somebody's got some serious background noise. I'm going to mute. I'm actually going to mute all again because I think we too many, it's a little too loud. So, sorry. Okay, so you don't have to leave this dimension of reality to go to a new one, but you can upgrade your experience. That is the ascension that I've been talking about. Ascend the energy from the inside out, and your experience of life will change. And so that is very similar to a parallel reality. Now, there is another way to do it where you can actually, if you all saw Pamela Osley speak on my summit, she's been on both of them. She talks about literally leaving one and going to another, finding a different version of herself that already lives in another place. And that's another way to do it. So it's not like there's only one way. There's probably an infinite number of ways to quantum jump into another reality. However, what I teach and what I think is maybe the most aligned, at least from my experience, is that I'm having this human experience in this body. And if there's an experience I want to have that I'm not having, then I will practice changing myself, my frequency, holding the light, holding the frequency of that experience. And when I get so good at doing that, that it's natural and it will just manifest. And that might manifest in the experience of reality seeming different. So I would say ascending timelines in a sense, or a parallel reality, but really what all we're doing is ascending our own energy in an experience like that. Now, this is a topic we could go on for days because there are so many different ways to do it. But from just my own, what I feel is most aligned, and in my teaching, I teach to ascend from the inside out, and your reality will align to that and bring you the experiences that are in aligned with the frequency that you're holding at any given time.
All right, thank you so much. That really makes sense. And thank you very much, Lisa. I love you.
You're welcome. I love you too. Thank you. Okay, Stuart, looks like you're next.
Right. Hi there. I was just want to go over to find out, see what you asked. You asked the questions of what sort of where you're from, which sort of galactic family you're from. So how do you have the intention to sort of have the awareness to get that information?
A wonderful question. So how do you have the awareness to know where you're from galactically, or who your galactic family is? That's actually something I teach about quite extensively, because something that I'm passionate about. And I do have a class on my website in the product store. If you're interested, it's a master class. It's actually 3 classes. They're meditations that you can check out. But in a nutshell, because I can't go super deep into it right now, it has a lot to do with your intention. And remember earlier, I talked about asking. So when you have an intention and you're asking, go into meditation, ask your galactic family to show themselves to you or to come to you in some way. If you're not someone who receives obvious messages internally or intuitively, then you can ask them to show you in, let's say they start leaving things in your reality, such as you might open up your computer and see a YouTube video on the Pleiades or Sirius or Arcturus or Andromeda, and like, oh, that's interesting, and just notice. And then maybe a few days later, you see another one that's the same, or you see, something completely unrelated seemingly, and someone starts, where you go out in the world and someone's like, oh, have you heard about Andromeda? And like it'll come to you in synchronicities is really what I'm sharing. And that's one way. So watch the synchronicities in your life. And then also just pay attention to yourself internally in meditation. What are you receiving? And don't be afraid to run with what you're receiving, and trust it and play with it and have fun. The more you play with it, playfulness is an energy that the guides love to work with, and it makes it easier because we become more pliable in playfulness. So just open up to receive and see what happens, and ask them to leave you messages and make it fun, and you'll start to get things. And I would also love to interject that you're not from just one place. Most of us that are star seeds are from a myriad of places. And so you might remember, you don't have to be just from one. That's really my point. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for the question. Okay, Caroline from Ontario, you have your hand up.
Hi, yes, I do. I'm trying to form the question properly, but I'll just ask it. What if you have asked for years, you've done the work, you know where you're from, you know your guides, you have many, many gifts, and still what you ask is not given?
What is, can you be more specific about what you're asking? And if you don't want to, that's okay. I understand that if you don't want to share publicly.
No, I don't have a problem with sharing publicly. I've been asking for a way to retire from my day job for about 18 years now. And I hear that if you take the next step, you know, the next step will be shown. And I know that. I would have to get into specifics. I don't think asking it is given. I think there's so much more to that.
It's about trust. I can vouch for this one because I've had this experience many times. When you ask, you have to trust the answer, and it's not always easy. You know, you're asking and you said you're getting the answer. Well, you know, just take the next step, which would be quitting your day job. Now that takes a lot of trust. I get it. And you might not know where, you know, where your next paycheck's coming from. But if you're willing to trust at that level, you will receive at the level of your trust. And I know that's a lot to digest. So maybe it's baby steps for you. Maybe it's like take the next step could mean, okay, so maybe the next step is something simple like I'm gonna look around for another job. Or maybe it's like I'm gonna start to think about retiring and just back off on my number of hours that I'm working, or something to that effect. But you are receiving. If you got the answer, take the next step, then take a step, because that's the answer you're being given.
I wasn't given the answer, take the next step. I was saying, I hear through these kinds of summits saying, if you take the next step, you can't be shown until you take the next step. But I personally didn't hear that.
I would say take a step then. I would say show some faith and some confidence that, yeah, hey, universe, I'm ready to do this. Start to mentally image and create a life of abundance for yourself that doesn't include the work that you're doing now. Envision it. That's conscious life creation. Start to write it out, journal it, make a vision board, focus your attention on it, feel secure, feel safe, see your bills getting paid, be grateful for the money that's coming in, dedicate yourself to living in the vision of that reality, put your attention there, and the universe will have to align with that because that's a universal law. The universe aligns with the energy that you're putting out. And if you're focused on that world where you're no longer at that job, that's what's going to happen for you. Does that make sense?
Okay, thank you.
I hope that's helpful. Yeah. All right. Can do probably a couple more. I got, oh, Mark. Mark, I called on you earlier. Are you there?
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm here. It's just my husband's name.
Ah, okay.
I didn't recognize it until now. Wait a minute, this is me. That's Mark. Well, my name is Jasenia. I'm from Florida. And I just wanted to share how amazing this meditation was to me, because when we were in the middle of it, I felt so my body got like on fire. And then I start practically cry in a river, cry so much. And once we finish, my body is still tingling. It's just a really nice, amazing experience. And just want to share a little bit about the synchronicity that I have been experiencing, which is amazing. And it happens if you are really open to it. Back in April, I participated in a meditation for the virus, planetary meditation. And I noticed that the person organizing it was saying, I'm on a starseed. So I got fascinated for that, started investigating a little bit. And I thought, oh, maybe one of the thoughts, maybe I'm one of them. I'm on a starseed. And it happened. Now in July, I made a 3 days spiritual course. And after the last day, the next day of the last day, I wake up with this emptiness in my heart, like an emptiness, but I didn't know what to do with it. It didn't feel bad. It felt light. But I thought, should I cry? Should I feel sad? What do I do with this feeling? And I heard a voice in my head saying, this is for you to feel it when you stop. You have more space. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And then the Alchemist of Ascension somehow came into my emails. And I watched the whole series. And it was all about star seeds and galactic origins. And I was like, this is the information I have been seeking for so long, and I wanted to hear about it. And it just came to me. And it felt like instead of learning, I was just remembering everything. It's so amazing. I feel so grateful for all this that is coming to me. And you guys have to ask and be open and say, my heart is open to universal love. And it comes in all ways and shapes and forms and voices. It's just magical. So I just wanted to share that.
That's
with all of
beautiful.
you.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I love that. And it's so true. When you know, like when you clear out the closet, you make space for new clothes. When you clear out your energy or the stuff that you've been holding, maybe you didn't even know it was there. You're making room for new awareness, new consciousness, new energy, new frequency. So beautiful.
Yes. If it's okay, can I say something else really quick?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
In the middle of the Alchemy of Ascension, I had a dream where I saw a queen. The queen had like a crystal crown on her head, and she wanted to work in a castle. She wanted to get a job, but to do that, she has to make an interview with a gatekeeper in the castle. So she went there. I saw her there. The gatekeeper was next to her and told her, in order for you to get this job, you have to prove that your heart is pure. So he symbolically grabbed her heart on his hands, and it was crystal, very translucent, beautiful color. He put it inside a little pool, like a bear bath pool, blue color water. And as soon as he did that, very gentle, there was an explosion of rainbow colors out of her heart. And then he looked at her and told her, your heart is pure, you got the job. And then I just woke up and I was like, what kind of dream is this? It's so beautiful.
I love that. Oh my gosh, thank you for sharing. That's beautiful.
I have been trying to understand what is that. I know it's very mystical, maybe one of other galactic lives in the past or the future, but it was just amazing. Things are coming to me in my dreams, especially, and it's because I'm asking and I'm given permission to give me everything they want.
Yeah. I love dream interpreting, and I have some ideas. If you'd like to book a call with me, I would love to, I'd love to share about that with you.
Yes,
actually,
thank you.
let me see if I can, oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to put, because I got to make this public.
Yes.
So I'm going to put my, if you want to book a call with me, accidentally put it in twice. I'm going to text that in there. Also, just because I'm sending this out to everyone right now, just after this, I'm going to have to jump off before long because I'm jumping over to Yannicka Oynes. Wisdom from North has an event today, kind of a meet and greet for some of her teachers. And I'm one of her teachers and I'm going to be on there. So if you want to go to that, I'm also putting the link for that in here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody.
So, yes, that first one is actually to book a call to apply for Ascension Training. Normally it will not be me. Occasionally I take those calls, but if you make a note when you do that, make a note and say, hey, I'm the one that said I had a dream and you said you'd interpret it, and I will take your call. Okay.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And thank you,
you're
everybody.
welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, I think I can do one or two more, and then I have to jump over to Yannicka. So let me see. Carol, you're next.
Hi.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Whoops. Can you unmute? I was trying to put your hand
Okay.
on and I muted you. Okay.
Got it there. Got it there. Thank you so much for bringing all of us together. Complete synchronicity, but I know you're rushing time, so I want. This is probably very elementary, but I know that in our own creations, as far as our thought creations and things like that, we can control that. But what if, when you're in a situation where there is things that are being created around you by others that is going to affect those that you love very deeply and very heartbreakingly. And so how do you deal with that? I don't know if I'm expressing myself right.
No,
I don't.
you are. I understand. And that is one of the challenging things. Of course, these things come up and happen. What you can control in that situation is always what you're focused on. Okay. And I can tell just from your sharing that sounds like it's something that's weighing very heavy on your heart and your mind. There's no judgment in that at all. But if you can approach it in non-judgment and maybe even do some journaling and write out everything that's disturbing you, and then look at what's upsetting to you and create a vision of your life the way that you desire for it to be. So, if you're experiencing suppression or pain or, some level of unwellness, or somebody else, you're feeling at effect of someone else's actions, you can always send that person love. You can send love to their high self without damaging anything. Love is never hurtful. You can then create with your intention, your imagination, what you desire. Maybe you desire harmony, whatever that is, find the frequency of it and practice the frequency. Get into the feeling experience. Maybe it's gratitude, whatever it is that you can find that's in alignment with the reality that you wish to experience, and practice that. And as you practice that, your world, you'll hold that frequency more and more for longer periods of time, and your world will transform to reflect you doing that. And you don't have to change anybody. You just have to do that yourself. The world will change around you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was a great question. Okay, one more. I can do one more. Linda, it looks like you're next.
Hi. Thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for this experience. I'm so glad that I signed up and I came here. I heard you say that you were a light carrier in a previous life and how you could go into different bodies and things. And I'm curious about that because one of my favorite things to imagine is sparkles. And I imagine source being sparkles, all these different colors, glitter, and the reason I like it is because they can be one or they can be separate, and I'm just curious about that, and because I don't remember who my star family is. I don't remember dreams. I mean, I forget things 5 minutes later, kinds of stuff. And so I would like some, just some curious kinds of explanations or whatever you have to offer in regards to playing with the sparkles or being the sparkles. as a light courier, can you be that and still be in a human body? Because I'm guessing that's probably a yes answer.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what do you do as a light courier, you know?
I understand this photograph.
Okay, I'm going to mute a few people because I'm hearing some background noise. So if you have background noise, please mute. Okay, so yes, and courier is actually what I called myself, a light courier, because I carried the light.
Right.
But what you can do is just play with that. And yes, we are multidimensional. If you're having memories of being glitter, of being light, then yes, you're probably doing that. It might be while you're sleeping, it might be in your dream time, it might be in your meditation, it might be while you're awake. But just know that yes, we are all so multidimensional, and you're tuning into an aspect of self that is doing work as light, as glitter. I love that it's glitter light. A lot of times I see, I'm gonna just go ahead and mute everybody because there's background noise. Hold on, yes, and then you can unmute if you need to, but there's a lot of background noise. So yeah, a lot of times I will see glitter coming in, and particularly when I'm working with the Andromedans. So you might want to look up Andromedans. I don't know if that resonates or how that feels to you, but they come in light and geometry and very living light, living feeling of light. And when I do Andromedan meditation activations, I always see a little sparkly, glittery, like glitter all over. So that might be something to look into for you, but certainly you can be a frequency carrier, holder of light. Maybe that's your light body or an aspect of yourself, your divine, your high self, that's moving around and working with people, bringing those light codes to them, and that you're not conscious of it. And so what I would do is just take it into meditation, think about it, play with it, see what comes up, journal about it. It's always nice to like write down what you're thinking, feeling, experiencing after a meditation like that, and see what happens. And I'd love to hear more. So email me and let me know if you try that, what you experience. And you can unmute yourself. I muted because there was a lot of background noise.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to play with it now.
Yay. Yeah, good.
Does anybody have an idea what this photograph means of my grandchildren? I have a new grandbaby boy, and his sister's holding him, but the sun's coming from behind her. And then there's a little, almost a football shape ovoid over him of light, over the baby. I know that they're very close, and they must have been together in a previous lifetime. She was so excited to have this baby brother. But does anybody know what this photograph means?
Well, I would say, that's a divine child of the light there.
I think
I don't know if y'all
both
can see it.
Maybe both of them are. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. It's very interesting. And she just loves this baby brother so much.
Beautiful. Well, clearly they're holding a lot of light, and they have light streaming in and through and around them. So I would just take that as a really beautiful sign that you've got some very evolved grandchildren.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's my first grandson. I've had all girls so far, but she's just been a beautiful little light herself. 10 years old she is, and he was born July 27th.
Oh, nice. Gorgeous. All right, everybody. I hate to leave you because this has been incredibly fun, and I do intend to do it again soon. I'm sorry I didn't read everything, but I will save these and I will read them later. I do have to jump onto Jannika's real quick in case you didn't get it. I will throw in that link again. If you want to come over to Jannika's, you do have to register just like you did with this one. And it's the second link there, but you just register, and then I think you get a link to go in, and it's at 2 p.m. my time Eastern. So I don't know what time that is for all of you, but it's in half an hour. So I need to jump on over there. And please, if you're interested in Ascension Training, that is booking, and I will start another round of that the end of this month. There are only About 10 spots left. It will fill up. So if that's something that's calling to your heart, set up a call. You probably won't talk to me. I take about 20% of the calls. I have a team that takes the rest. But you know, if you're really ready for to really commit to your transformation and your ascension, and you're looking for help and mentorship and a group of amazing people to do that with, this could be the right fit for you. So feel free to apply on that link. And with that, I'm going to sign off and say goodbye, everyone. Oh, I just appreciate you all so much. Look at this beautiful community that we have. We had a wonderful group here. I think I saw there were over 130 at some point. And I will be sending out the replay because I just think everybody gets to experience this. It's so much fun. So with that, I love you all. I'm wishing you all so many blessings, and I appreciate your presence. Namaste.
Namaste. God bless.
Appreciate that.
Om Shanti. Namaste.